everyone. Welcome to the show. In this series, we will be using the game I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic to build a city? Kids on bikes to explore that city, 10 candles to destroy the city, and a quiet year to rebuild the city. But before we dive into our first game, I want to introduce this cast who will be acting as our architects this evening. We'll do more thorough intros at the end, but for now, tell us briefly who you are and where we can find you. Let's test your memory and do this in turn order.
Oh, that would be I begin. My name is Nordine Ali Kadir, the architect of glass. My pronouns are he, him, and you can find me online at Werewolf Feels.
Testing memory. I think I'm second because I said I was second. That's what I remember. Hi, everyone. I'm Shadia Ambrose, she, they pronouns. You can find me everywhere. It's SS Ambrose, except for Twitter, which is SS Ambrose _ because Twitter hates me. And I'm the architect of dreams. Is that what did I do the right thing? Okay, yep. Cool.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Osborne, pronouns she, they. You can find me at Katiosaurus on all corners of the internet. And I am the architect of missing memos about what kind of architect I'm supposed to be. Nailed it.
And I am Sam DeLev. I am they. Yes, the internet's problem. Role-playing performer, variety streamer, not a goose. That one is slander. And tonight I will be the architect of song.
It's me. I am Paula Hosburn, pronouns recruiter. You can find me at Art and Audio on Twitter. I am the architect of y'all's demise, and I'll be facilitating this game for you all. So let's get started. Before we started filming, I had the players each pick a word to describe our city. These words were spirited, as in filled with ghosts and spirits, specifically. Cramped, melodious, and towering. I also had the players each answer a question about this world. So I'd like to bring you up to speed and ask those questions again here and now. Let's start with Ambrose, who I believe answered the first question. Broadly, what qualities do this city's residents share, and what differentiates them?
I would say makeshift instruments built out in every communal space so that spirits can communicate if they cannot have one-off conversations with people. Each location has different items built into the walls, ceiling, etc. to generate sound via wind or movement.
Sam, how does the city first appear to an outside visitor?
The towers of the city are so vertical that they necessarily require interconnections, if only for convenience's sake. Some are formal tunnels between buildings, but also ropes, also ladders, also zip lines form to allow people to cross, creating connective tissue between buildings, sometimes anchored to no climbing signs on the exterior walls. Those from outside the city are somewhat intimidated by the tightrope requirements, and indeed climbing does seem impossible, at least, of course, if you're not from around here.
Nordine Ali, how does the magic in the city manifest, and can it be manipulated?
Every sound sounds louder than it should. Every groan and crack of a building echoes even deeper. Magic thrums in sound. The magic we use to call spirits or call out comes from chants and song. Magic is manipulation, whether we channel the magic around us or...
And finally, Kate, how do laws manifest? What is illegal, if anything?
Despair, grief, regret, shame, anger. The negative emotions, the ones most deeply felt, often the loudest, have been outlawed. However, the residents of the city know that you cannot silence these. You cannot eliminate these from the nature of human or ghostly existence. As such, underground scream easies have evolved deep in the innermost corners of the city, where citizens congregate to feel, to mourn, to scream in safety, away from the prying eyes of those who would rather pretend that they cannot feel.
Amazing. Now, this was a homebrew edition I added, and see how worth it was, because we have already this amazing framework for our city that was one of the words that was coined later in our session 0 was spirit punk, as opposed to cyberpunk or steampunk. We have spirit punk. So now that we've set the tone for our city, it's time to lay the foundation. Going in order, I'll have each of you create either a neighborhood or place a landmark in an existing neighborhood. We're going to go around in order so we have something to start, a brief foundation of our city. And for the rest of the game, we'll be building out that foundation into something more unique and interconnected that I'll destroy later. We don't have to think about that now. So we have a turn order established, and that turn order will be shifting each round so that each player has their opportunity to start. But we're not doing that just yet. We're going to just start with our first person, who will start our first round as well. Nordine Ali Kadir.
Yeah.
What neighborhood would you like to build?
Ooh, okay. Let's pull up a neighborhood here. I'm going to call this neighborhood the Discordance. And its reputation, the place where dreams go to die. And as its true name, so actually, while we're here, what kind of vibe are we looking for when it comes to true names? What kind of things is the game looking for, Paula?
So each of the things that people will be creating here, neighborhoods, landmarks, and eventually residents, will need some details added to them, but all of them demand a true name. And the true name is meant to be basically what you would call their soul. What the actual, sure, you can call that neighborhood downtown or uptown, or it has a title of some kind that people refer it to logistically, maybe on maps, but there's something deeper. There's something that everyone knows it's called. Almost it calls itself, that gives breath to the city and makes it its own character. The name can have any format that you'd like. Word or short phrase is generally what to aim for, but something that is evocative enough that you get an idea of what actually this neighborhood is like.
I think in this case, the true name of this place is They Will Not Give Up.
So we have the neighborhood of Discordance, a place where dreams go to die, and the true name is They Will Not Give Up. Ambrose, would you like to make another neighborhood, or would you like to place a landmark in this neighborhood?
I was going to do something similar, actually. So I was going to do another neighborhood very similarly. So, the title of this neighborhood is called The Unsound. Reputation-wise, it is where loud sounds, emotions that are fueling those loud sounds go to be silenced. And true name, I'm going to have to think about that. Does anyone have any idea based off of those vibes I just put out there?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
We already have established scream-easies. That we don't know where they go yet. We know they exist, where you can get out those negative emotions. So how does this differ? This is a neighborhood where people go to silence loud feelings.
Would this be a neighborhood where those scream-easies are?
Could be.
Possibly.
Yeah, and I can imagine those scream-easies never filtered out to the outside world, probably using some kind of technology to muffle those things, is what I'm guessing.
So the neighborhood is eerily silent all the time, but there are people in a ton of buildings just screaming.
Yeah, just until you open one of those doors.
Oh.
Sorry.
A hallway of screaming?
It's just one street, like a main street.
It's the Field of Screams.
The Field of Screams, yes.
I was warned by my players that we would have so many puns this evening, so I will warn you, audience. You're in for it. Are we doing Field of Screams? Does that ring true to you, Ambrose?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes. Field of Screams. That's
amazing.
me.
So we got the Unsound. The reputation is where loud sounds go to be silenced, and the true name is Field of Screams. Excellent start already.
Look at us getting intense already.
Kate,
Okay.
would you like to make a third neighborhood or place a landmark?
I would like to place a third neighborhood, please. And the neighborhood title. Oh, that's not how you do that button. So the neighborhood title is can the neighborhood title also be its true name? Is that a thing?
Occasionally, but rarely. Okay. The title is so accurate that the true name is also the title.
Okay.
But it is not common.
I am envisioning a neighborhood that is mostly made of little groves and grottos and places where people can go to listen and to sort of be receive this sort of like messages from the spirits as they sort of like carry through the town. And so the reputation that it has is that it is a place of sort of like solemn reflection and quietude. And its true name, I'm just going to go hard on musical terms this game, just so everyone knows. And so I'm going to say it's called the Lacrimosa, because that's a fancy music word.
Do you want to throw in a quick definition for that, for those who might not know what that is?
Yes, Lacrimosa. It means sad.
It's sad music.
It's sad music. It's a sad, sad boy.
What a vibe, honestly.
Oh, man. I love that you came in hard at the beginning and said, yeah, despair is outlawed. And our first 3 neighborhoods are like sad, sad, and sad. And I love that for us.
What do you mean? They're not sad. Why do you say they're sad?
You're right. That would be illegal for me to say. I take that back.
Get into the vibes.
Sam.
Yes.
Would you like to place a neighborhood, or would you like to place a landmark inside one of our 3 existing neighborhoods?
I am going to put a landmark down, or we'll never get any people in this little city. And I would like to meet a people. So ultimately, I need to know where it is and what it is in any city. I need to place a library.
Fair enough.
I love it. Which neighborhood do you want to place this library in?
I think we should be... I would like to place it in the Groves. That feels right to me.
Okay.
I like it.
So, for a landmark, you would need to write down a title, just like everything else, what we call it, an address. And the address does not have to be how we do addresses here in the real world. It can just be some kind of indication of where it is. Its specific location. And then, of course, a true name.
Let's see. The title is The Loudest Library. You can talk above a whisper there sometimes, at certain hours of the day.
Love this.
It is located on the corner of Expression and Contemplation. And its true name is The Only Place Truth Will Show Itself.
Ooh, I like it.
All right.
I love.
So go ahead and put that on one of the stickies and add that to the neighborhood. The audience, you cannot see that we're using a keeper right now. It's just a way for us to track all of these neighborhoods and landmarks and eventually residents, and that way we can reference them. But everything we write down, you will also hear us say. Now that we have finished laying the foundation, super quick and easy, it's time to actually start playing the game for real. Gameplay itself is similar to what we've just done, with a few additional pieces. The first piece is a compass. So the person who will be starting this upcoming round, so that's going to be Nordina Ali, will need to give me a compass. The compass can be a word or short phrase that will be used as inspiration for everything created in the round. If you want to dive into a specific neighborhood, or if you want to dive into, of course, a landmark or a resident, or a theme, any of the words that we use to establish the city and you want to see them better explored, you can do that. Or really any concept that you feel like would build out the rest of the city in more detail. That can be a compass. All right, now you can start your round by creating a neighborhood, placing a landmark, or creating a resident to add some personalized life to the city. But before we do that, Nordina Ali Kadir, what is our first compass?
We mourn, we mourn, we mourn.
Keeping the sad energy. I love it.
I'm going to start us
love
off
it.
on the saddest foot.
You know what? This is a city that was sort of destined to fall, and that's perfect, and I thank you for it. We mourn, we mourn, we mourn is the compass. And so the first person of the rounds, that's still Nordina Ali, would you like to make a neighborhood? Would you like to place a landmark? Or would you like to create a resident?
I would actually like to make another neighborhood. I'm just going to, move that here. But I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to call this the Whistle Tips. Because we're focusing a lot about what the city looks like down below. And I think we need some highs, you know? Reputation. Smiles. Feel screwed on. Sorry. And true name. Come to the top. You have to lose. Because we are mourning. This is a city of mourning, right? There we go.
So, any more clarity you want to add to that? Because smiles feel screwed on the whistle. Is this sort of an area where there is visibly a lot of happiness?
Yes, I think this is a place where we've talked a lot about how people want to make it in the city. This is a place where people have made it. They've made it. They've made it big. They've made it to the tops of the towers. They look out and they can see other tops of towers and even further than that, right? The great expanse. You're not drowned by the city here. Instead, you're drowned by the choices you made that led you here. Because to get up here, you have to do things.
All right. I love it. Thank you. Ambrose, would you like to make another neighborhood, place a landmark, or create a resident?
I'm gonna place a landmark because we need people. So place. Let's see. Put that in the Whistle Tips. And title, I'm thinking, following music notes. I'm gonna call this the Half Rest Center. So that's where we're gonna be. Address. That one place with the most room. True name. To smile away your happiness, or to smile away your sadness.
Somehow have both very different and very similar meanings.
Yeah, right? Like I was like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So thoughts on that one?
I like to smile away your sadness because it suggests that there is happiness to be found here. It's just very, very, very hard to find. Because that's my vibe.
So smile away your happiness is the one you said? Okay.
Oh, sadness.
Sadness.
Smile away your sadness. My bad.
No, the other one, the one full of joy.
That one where like that, there's hope in this one. Cool.
Hope? I don't know. Cool. So is there anything else you want to say about this landmark? You don't have to. There are 3 required pieces of information. Anything else is optional.
No, just this is wonderfully sad.
Next compass, let's do... not that anyone's responsible for the formation of this compass. No one we know.
Next compass will be like the carnival that comes to town or something. Kate, would you like to make a neighborhood landmark a resident?
I would also like to make a landmark, please.
Right.
And I would like to put my landmark in the unsound, in the field of screams. And I'm going to say that deep within the unsound, one of the places that is more popular, one of the places that people and spirits really like to go, is a place called the Prima Donna. And it's sort of like a combination bar / experimental music pub / performance art space. And it's one of those places where some nights the vibe might be incredibly chill, and some nights it might just be like bar fights all evening. But it's a place that people go to gather and find community. And so its true name is called The Gathering. Like magic. And the address is on the corner of Yearning and Sorrow.
Ooh.
I love this address that we've created on the corner of... Okay. All right. Lots of landmarks coming in. To close out this round, Sam, what would you like to create?
Well, I'm going to create a landmark in the Discordance, and I'm gonna change the title real quick for no particular reason. It's not the guy. It's the Hunting. There you go. Not the Gathering. That's very different.
Nice.
Did y'all come up with the same name? That's amazing.
I'm proud of us. Honestly.
We're just on that. We're on that level. But this is the Market district. And it is on... If Yearning is a boulevard like one of those that cuts through many neighborhoods in a city, there are always those main drags. So this is in a different neighborhood, but still on Yearning. But its intersection is Acquisition. Its true name is Where Anything Can Be Got.
Amazing. So Yearning is our Broadway.
At least
like,
one.
streetwise.
I know there are a good dozen such roads in my city at least. But I want Yearning to be one. It seems right for here.
I love it. Everything is so on the nose, but it works. It works so well. Music and sadness. That's what we're bringing today. So with the last player to create the thing they need to create, it's going to come back to Nordine Ali. And now that our round is over, you get to create an event. Events can be small or large, but they occur within some part of the city, changing it in some way. What event would you like to make?
The Feast of Allegro.
Nice.
The sadness has come so far and so deep that we must break it with something that has stood with a feast.
Do you have any, is that the vibe? You're welcome to either keep it where it is on the keeper or place it somewhere like it is where the feast is held.
Absolutely.
If there's a place in mind for you that looks good.
I think it's the Discordance. Because we got a market going on there. So the place where dreams go to die is the place where dreams have to be rebuilt. and there the Feast of Allegro will be had.
All right. Now, when the event occurs, the other players have a brief opportunity to respond in our turn order. Your options are written on the keeper, so basically pick one and add your voice. You can either ask a rhetorical question, state an opinion, or show a consequence. And you're representing the voices of the city itself. I know we don't have any residents yet, but essentially the general response to the Feast of Allegro. We'll start with Ambrose.
Who was responsible for starting it in the first place? Where did it come from?
Kate?
Oh, it. I didn't know it was gonna be my turn. Who started it?
No, you don't have to answer the question. The question's rhetorical.
Oh.
You can state an opinion, you can ask a rhetorical question, or you can show a consequence.
Just voice and then mental palette. That's all that is.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the consequences of this festival is that for weeks beforehand and weeks afterwards, there's sort of like a ramp up and ramp down to it. So the festival, the Feast of Allegro, becomes more of like a season where it's feast season. And so there's a lot of preparation and cleanup and that kind of thing. So it takes a while for the city to sort of be prepared and then unprepared. So it's a big major part of the world.
I love that. Sam?
The questions are from the city.
Essentially, you are representing a voice of the city,
Okay.
and you can either ask a rhetorical question from the perspective of the city itself. You can state an opinion the city has on the feast or the season of Allegro, or you can show a consequence.
Why do we have to keep doing this?
Ow.
All right. With that complete, we have finished our first full round of, I'm sorry, did you say street magic? And we will move on to our second round, which the turn order shifts slightly, and Ambrose creates the first compass, which means Kate will go second, Sam will go third, and Nordina Lee will go fourth. And you're welcome to move things around on the keeper to make as much room as you can. This is all you got space-wise, so we'll do our best.
All right.
What is our compass?
Let's start on a high note. Someone had to do it. Someone had to make that joke, I suppose.
The compass is, let's start on a high note. So, Sade, neighborhood, landmark, or resident?
I want to challenge myself and make a resident now. Why not?
You do. I'll get to explain to the audience what that means.
All right,
and
yeah,
why it's perhaps being avoided.
I'll make a resident and I'll put them at the landmark, half rest center.
Okay. So residents are a little bit more complicated. When you make a resident, it has to be placed in an existing landmark. So we need to get those down first. And you will need to come up with a name and a set of pronouns, as well as a true name. But the true name for a person is much harder to come across than a true name for a landmark or a neighborhood. Those come more naturally. So what the game suggests is that we do a brief bit of role play where the person who created the resident gets to play as the resident they created in a scene that's mostly determined by them. The scene will involve the rest of us to the degree that Ambrose wants to, and will end when you have their true name, when you've discovered it. And that could go as long as you feel like you need. But if the scene ends naturally, I will probably ask you the question of, well, what is their true name? So who do you have?
I have resident Hope. Pronouns she, her. True name to be determined as the scene goes on.
So Hope resides, at least for the most part, in the half rest center.
Mm-hmm.
So up in the whistle tip. So this is up top. So theoretically, Hope has made it.
Mm-hmm.
Made it to the top. Any other details you want to give? Or do you want to jump into a scene? And if so, what kind of scene do you want to jump into?
Random detail. Something that's close to her chest and probably no one else's. She hates her name.
Of course she does.
People in the scene. Nordine, would
Of
you
course.
care to do the honors? And then, of course, it's open, so anyone can just jump in if they would like to. I'll leave that open for everyone.
We'll set a scene for us, Ambrose.
Yes. So we're at the top, towering, I would say a balcony. It looks pretty pristine, glass, beautiful. Kind of Art Deco-y vibe up here as you look out. And Hope is dressed in a very beautiful cocktail dress. Seems like there's a party starting or something like that's happening, a gathering of some sort. She's looking out over it with a glass of something bubbly, but a very interesting blue neon color. And she's forcing a smile as she looks out. And she whispers to herself, why are we still doing this? I don't understand.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. Hi.
Hope, my dear Hope.
Yes.
You look sad.
No. Sad. What do you mean? That's not a thing that happens at all.
No, not sad, of course. Not sad, Hope. I mean, discordant. You look discordant. My dear, is there anything wrong? My love, my hope.
No. Gregory, there's nothing for you to worry about, okay? It's just a day. It's been a long day. We've been setting this up. People are coming in. We're having a wonderful time. Don't look for things that aren't there. Dear Greg G. I don't know.
You know I don't like that name.
And don't look for things that aren't there.
This partnership between us stands on tender hooks. You and I both know that if one of us falls, we both fall, and then no more whistling will be heard. So put your smile on your face, Hope.
Right. Of course. G.
I love you, dear.
Love you too, honey.
I'll be inside.
True name. Eris.
My apologies.
That was nice.
No, don't even dare.
So much.
Don't you dare apologize. I adore.
So that's what a resident looks like. Residents are a little bit more complicated, but they're fun for many reasons, as you've just seen, but also because, as you all know, we're heading into some Kids on Bikes and Tentacles after this game. And these are all possible player character options for any of our players to take on. So keep that in mind. But with that, we're going to move to the next person in our turn order. Kate, would you like to
It's
make
me.
a neighborhood, landmark, or resident?
I'm too afraid to make a resident yet, but I will do it the next time I can. It's just nerve-wracking. There's a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was there.
I am so proud of you. You crushed it. I think I would actually like to make another neighborhood because one of the things that I'm noticing about our town is that there is not a lot of place where the whistle tippers, if you will, go to buy their fancy goods. So I would like to purport that there is a neighborhood that is the luxury district. And the luxury district has a very interesting reputation because the luxury district is kind of that sort of place where social status and fortunes can be made or break really easily. And so a lot of people go there not only for, shopping and fashion purposes, but they also go there to sort of see and be seen and see if they can meet the right person at the right time to maybe get access to the whistle tips. And so the true name of the neighborhood is The Greed Within. Yeah. I'll remember that when I write it down.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. So, a very quick turn. We're going to move to Sam. Sam, would you like to make a neighborhood landmark resident?
I'm gonna make a people. It's gonna be a people. resident.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What landmark would you like to put this people in?
I want to put them in hunting. I want to put them in the market district.
Love this.
Hunting. All right. Anything can be got. So, we're going to need at least a name and some pronouns for this resident before we jump into that role play.
Yes.
But any other information would also be adored.
Her name is the Piper. This is a melodious city, a city that we described that when the wind moves through it, it brings to life various instruments. Maybe that is a good luck thing for any given dwelling to have. But someone, well, the Piper, makes these instruments that go along the exteriors of this city. And she has been doing it for a long, long, long time. Long enough that if you can remember which instrument you put where and what it was, you can develop a soundscape, a harmony between them as the wind moves through, thereby to create consonance, to stoke dissonance. Who knows? But the Piper has a little shop in this market district, where their
All right.
latest order is almost ready for pickup. Kate, would you do me the honor?
Is there anyone you'd like to have seen with you? Oh, sorry.
Kate, would you do me the honors?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Hi. I'm sorry. I have a order to pick up, I think.
Are you the Chimes?
Yeah, yeah, well, technically the Chimes were my dad, but I guess you could say that I'm the Chimes now. So yes, I guess it's easier to just say yes, I'm the Chimes. I'm sorry, this is all kind of new to me. So how does this work?
Your father was the Chimes.
Yeah.
The Chimes on Sorrow.
Yeah, Sorrow, yeah, and before him, his father, and his father before, it's
Stay
kind
there.
of okay.
Scurries up a terrifying ladder. Everything about this shop is vertiginous, as if microcosm of the city itself, but in lieu of towers, there are shelves. Some shelves of instruments, some shelves of... No, those might also be instruments. Who knows? And some, as she goes now, to books, big ledgers, and pulls one down almost as big as she is, then bats at the air. Height! Get back there. Get back. I know, I'm on Sorrow! And poof, the ledger down and starts flipping. Is this your card?
What are you?
Chimes on Sorrow.
Yeah, that's me, I guess. What was my yes, that's correct.
Are you new to the neighborhood then?
Yeah, I haven't been here for very long. I came back right before my dad Anyway, so yeah, I'm here now, but I don't know how a lot of this works, and I guess it's sort of my thing now. So can I just get whatever it is I'm supposed to get and just I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just I don't it's a lot, you know? So
You're not from around here, are you, dear?
And this person looks up, just first time directly making eye contact. And they just say, "No, I'm not. I have no idea what I'm doing."
I understand. You are the chimes, but we will give you the chimes you need. She hops up onto the counter, which is probably, the Piper has like Edna mode scaling as a person.
That's what I've been picturing the whole time.
Perfect. Good. I did it. Fantastic. So this allows her now to get closer to an approximation of eyeline, but doesn't hard eye contact into it. Instead, turns her head and says, "Breathe for me, dearie."
Oh, okay. Takes a big deep breath.
Let me hear the out. Oh.
Chimes. No, that was terrible. I'm sorry. Should I? Is there
it's
something
really
that I
hurting
should
you, isn't it? I'm so sorry.
do? What do you mean? I'm sorry.
I think this is... Yes, it's about time. It's a C-sharp half diminished. Yes, quite. Stay there. I've just the
Okay.
thing.
Oh, right.
Well, then you keep an eye on them. What am I supposed to? And the Piper disappears into the back. The sound effects of thing getting thrown, another thing getting thrown. Foley is just having a real good time here. That sounded like an elephant. I swear that sounded like an elephant. And after a moment, she comes back out with a box already ribbon tied with a woodcut engraving style illustration of chimes on the top. Put this 2/3 of the way in your window, up your windowsill. The one that, when the sun hits, makes the prism across the street explode.
How did you? Oh, all right. Do you mind if I try it out? Is that all right?
Put it there. That's where it belongs. And she'll put her hands on top of the box and push it toward you. It's where you belong.
Thank you. I'll let you know how it goes.
If it sounds like a cacophony for the next 3 weeks, it's the spirit settling in.
Great.
I told her. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you. And as we'll say his name's John. As John leaves, he holds this box and he sort of like backs out of the shop, and he takes sort of like one last look at the Piper, and he just kind of waves and he says, "Thank you. I'm sure I'll have questions, but it was nice to meet you."
Then it'll work as intended.
Sam, what's Piper's true name?
Orpheus.
All right.
Love that for us.
So toss a card in there. And we'll move to Nordine Ali. What would you like to create?
Oh, give me 1 second to think. I think I'll make a resident because we do have a lag. Let's put them. I'm tempted to also put them in the hunting, but I think for now we'll drop them in the bar, and we're gonna call them Taksim. Pronouns. I'm thinking he, they. And I don't know a true name just yet. Can I ask you all to join me, if possible? Crowded around a bar, there's this man, this masculine person, dressed in loose clothing, poor clothing, probably too poor to even be here, though this is the unsound. Hair practically falling in their face, a beard that is too scruffy to be full, is an older person standing on a table and saying, "Haven't we had enough? Look at what it's done to us. The lies we've spouted at each other, the attempts to keep each other silent, the closing of our hearts to our sorrow. We call this a high note."
There's a bar, there's a bartender that's in this bar, leaning against it, cleaning a glass. It's like, could you get down off of my bar, please? You didn't buy anything yet. I know you're trying to start a whole soba situation right now, but
I'll pay you in a short time. But let me ask you something, my sibling. Are you happy?
Nah, dog. Not at all.
And why can you not say that? Yeah, go ahead.
From the back, another guy pops up and goes, "Nobody's happy here. It's the whole thing of it. Nobody's happy. Let him speak. Let him speak."
That guy. Right.
I have watched people bury themselves under dirt trying to contain the depression that they are in. I've watched us lie to each other about how happy we are and how happy we are not. And I worry. I worry for each and every one of us.
What do you propose to do about it then?
I propose, like the old ways, we have a place beyond just some underground bunker to scream, a place to talk, a place to admit who we are. I wish to build us a steeple.
A what?
Where would you like to build this what's your name again?
Taksim.
Taksim. Where do you propose to build something like this?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Where do we think it's a good idea? Away from the law, away from the eyes of the whistle tips. Where would be safe enough to be sorrowful?
You build a new place for the sorrow. Isn't that just moving a Scream Easy to a different building?
In a Scream Easy, we cry out to nothing. We let it all out. I want a place where we talk to each other about it. Our isolation from each other must end.
They're not going to allow that. Not at all. Not in this town.
Who cares what they allow? We'll do it anyway. And I think I do have a true name for them. I think their name is Father of a Tacit End.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's badass. I love it. We have 3 very different and very incredible residents that were made this round. So back to Ambrose. You're now in charge of making an event. Something happens in this city. And you can keep to the compass if you can. But what happens here? And where does it happen?
Building of something new. In discordance.
I like how most of our events have happened around.
I know, I was like, wait, crap, it's there too.
Sometimes favorites arise and listen, discordance is just people like discordance. Lots going on. Building something.
In this rallying of people that agree that we're within the Unsound, the Prima Donna bar, hit a chord, pun intended, with several people there. And under the cover of night and the cover of silence, those moments when like no one's looking, they gathered in meeting places in the discordance and were able to find a place that, oddly enough, found a place in this crowded city that was unoccupied and that could be built and connected in ways that no one can see. But not sure if we can keep the sound in this regard. So far, no one's noticed anything as they're building this, but a lot of people are becoming aware of it that also don't want to hide their feelings, their emotions, their sound anymore.
All right. So with this event established, we move to Voices of the City, and we continue in turn order. So as a reminder, the options are asking a rhetorical question, stating an opinion, or showing a consequence.
Now that it's here, what do we do with it?
It's too dangerous.
How long until your voices fracture?
And with that, our second round ends. And we're getting ready to take a quick break, but before we do, does anyone here have an idea of what this city might be called? By the end of the game, this group has to name the city, and it does not have to be now, but I thought I'd check in to see if any names are arising.
I'm taking a name that I think is actually a band, but Deftones?
That is a band.
Yeah, so like, because it's like, kind of like, oh, you can't hear everything, but it's all together at the same time as well kind of situation. If there's a better name, by all means, but I feel like I'm stealing and cheating.
I
on
like
that one.
yours. I was also thinking of Stratospires.
That's good.
I like that one more.
Stratospires?
Yeah.
If that's what we're going with. Does anyone else have any other ideas?
The only thing I thought of was Harmonia, like the Greek goddess, because I know that we had Greek goddess and music themes, but all of those are excellent and good.
Because you are doing unsolicited telepathy, I was also thinking of harmony, given how much emphasis there is on
Same
here.
mind. Same mind.
Let's call it Harmonia.
Let's call it Harmonia.
Harmonia seems to be a good name, though I want to see some of those unused names maybe appear in neighborhoods, landmarks, and
Maybe.
but Harmonia, that's the name of our city. And with that, we're going to take a quick break right here for a little bit. So hang out for just a little while, and we'll be back soon to continue the building of this city and seeing what other not sad at all things that we create in this city where sadness is completely illegal. But we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Hi, my name is Jake.
And I'm Sam.
And together we are the co-hosts of What We Know, the most watched source of all topics gaming. We have the fastest scoops, the hottest takes, and hell, the cutest co-hosts.
Can't deny that, but there's more to us than looks alone. Each episode, we take a dive into gaming-related stories of the week that interest us. Topics that make us go, wait, this couldn't be real, or hang on, wait, what? Or
the greatest thing that has ever happened to gaming ever.
Yes, things exactly like that. So check out AltHaven's YouTube, and every other Tuesday, you'll find out what we know.
In a world without magic, a world much like our own, danger still creeps around every corner. But where there's danger, there's always someone willing to take up the risk.
And opens her mouth wide.
God, is there anybody normal in this city at all?
Well, you know me, boys. I do love an apocalyptic event.
Since 2020, $2 Creature Feature has delivered a high-quality Monster of the Week podcast in association with AltHaven TTRPG Network. In Season 1, we traveled with Severus Vardy's Traveling Fun Fair. In Season 2, we solved the mystery of what lurks at the heart of Jupiter Hollow. Now, a new team must stand up to the threats that are out of this world. $2 Creature Feature proudly presents Season 3, Atlas.
What would happen if the whole world knew monsters existed? That they could be your neighbor, your barista, or your childhood bully? Hi, we're Pest Control, a mostly Monster of the Week actual play show that just started our second season, and we're asking exactly those questions.
We are another tabletop podcasting show, but we utilize Monster of the Week very well. It feels almost like you are watching a show. It gets really dark.
Yeah, and in between all that, we're a little bit of some silly little goofers.
Sam enables some extremely impactful story moments built up from themes and creature designs.
I'm William, they, them, and I'm playing Kelly Aberdeen, he, him, who is a vigilante who wants more than anything to be a monster and cannot become one.
I'm Sam, she, they, and I'm playing Nami, she, her, who is an angel who fucked up and has to make up for it.
My name is Jonas, they, them, and I'm playing Rabbit Moon, he, they, she, a demon boy who changes forms and plays with gravity. Rabbit is using the custom playbook, The Shape Changer.
And my name is Keeper Sam. Come follow Pest Control as we watch the story of Kelly, Nami, and Rabbit trying to keep the community of Norfolk safe from the encroaching influence of the city. Come check us out.
So, hello everyone, welcome back to the show. As a reminder, this series we're using the game I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic to build a city, and then eventually Kids on Bikes to explore that city, 10 Candles to destroy the city, and A Quiet Year to rebuild the city. But for now, we're doing the game I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic, where we have been building our city of Harmonia. A perfectly happy and delightful city where everyone is just perpetually overjoyed to be there, mostly because despair is illegal. There are spirits and ghosts wandering throughout the city, as well as the average human resident. The city itself is towering and spire-like. We joked in our sessions here, the shape of a Jenga tower, totally not going to fall. And because of this spire's shape, we have a lot of cramped neighborhoods with a lot of people living in every square inch. So this city is absolutely 100% vibes, and I love it, and everyone is having a good time. So we're going to jump back in with the start of our third round here. So Kate, what's our compass?
Our compass is Spirited Away. A hilarious play on words. Not like the movie that I just realized is a movie in this moment. That's fine. Cool.
I've never
Really
heard of that
cursed
movie.
one.
Never heard
In
of
this
it.
world, there's no such thing. Our compass is what's going to guide this round in terms of theming, and so the compass this round is Spirited Away. So, Kate, would you like to make a neighborhood, a landmark, or a resident to start us off?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be so brave. I'm gonna create a resident. And
Which
I just
landmark
realized what I did.
would you like to put this in?
Well, actually, you know what? Retcon. I'm gonna build a landmark. I'm gonna build a landmark. I am going to say that in the Whistle Tips, nearby but not like within proximity to the Half Rest Center, there is the sort of seat of government where the council, where the facilitation of this city happens, and it is known as simply the seat, and its address is on the corner of
You don't have to do the corner. The address can be whatever you want.
Well, I was gonna have it be the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, but I decided that is too not funny enough. It was right there for the taking, but I'm not going to. So yeah, I'm gonna have it be on. We'll figure that out later. And its true name is simply Tower. That's what we got. I'll figure out the address. Does anybody have a good idea for the address?
Well, the address for the other landmark that we have in the Whistle Tips, which is the Half Rest Center, is that one place with the most room.
Okay.
I have an idea.
Okay, what do you got?
That high point that only a few can reach.
Yeah, that's good.
I am obsessed with the fact that the Whistle Tips does not prescribe to the regular address system that everyone else uses with cross streets. It's like, no, we just pick what room we want. So with that, Sam, would you like to make a neighborhood, a landmark, or a resident?
I'm making another people.
People!
People! What landmark would you like to place your people in?
In the second sub-basement of the loudest library.
All right.
In Morgan's laboratory, there are not alembics or flasks or beakers. There is a violin, though no violins yet. There is a harp, and there is a silent piano at which she sits, but as she plays and seems to toy with the chords, in the unfinished stone walls of the second sub-basement, spectral images of faces seem to come to the fore as she noodles with the notes and the chords and makes notes on her sheet music. And if anyone wants to be an advisory ghost, Morgan is playing and looking for advice.
Morgan, dear, hold your neck up. Your neck up.
Like this? Am I doing it right?
Oh, calm down. Perhaps you should get one of those hot chocolates that you like so much. We've discussed this ever since I passed away. You've always been this.
Relax. You're not making it better.
I'm trying. I care about my poor dear.
I'm caring.
She's talking to me.
I don't care if she's talking to you, dear.
No, you're talking to me. Never mind.
Dear, don't listen to him. He tends to only add to the frustration, the negative emotion of worry. Just take deep breaths. There we go. Hold and release. Oh no, not like that. Not like that. Oof.
Dear, we are very, very proud of you.
Yes,
you
Mary.
must calm down.
I hit a big note on the silent piano out of pure frustration. And a little bit of the ethereal lights the walls and the slightest tremble.
You rang? Who? What? You what? What do you want? What are you praying for? I was busy. I was resting.
You've now called Manny. Look at that.
Look at what? I suppose you want some advice, some insight. This isn't always the way. Just simply call up the nearest ghost and just have the ghost solve your problems. It's frankly
this is
very
starting to feel a lot like too many cooks in the kitchen kind of situation.
I'm happy to go. Good day to you. And he just disappears.
All right, granddaughter, let's try this one more time. Now you're taking a deep breath. In. I will do it myself, but I cannot. I'm dead. Now you're going to let it out, but you're going to do it with an S sound. A S, like a snake. Little by little. There we are. Until it's all gone, until you are vacuumed up, and what comes out after the S is... Oh. I suppose I can breathe. Holding one in.
And I have Morgan's true name. Magic comes from pain.
All right. And did we get pronouns for Morgan?
Yeah, I think she. I think I said she at some point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Okay. I believe it is my turn, isn't it?
It is.
I was hoping this wouldn't happen.
Definitely inevitable.
So true. I'm actually going to give a neighborhood to the Groves, and I have been thinking about this.
Landmark?
A landmark, yes. A landmark to the neighborhood, the Groves. You know, the place where people go for quiet reflection, introspection, and trying to receive messages from spirits. That's the primary purpose of the Groves. This is Morendo Mount. And the address is through the waters, past the gate, no one can see. Its true name, the true name of Morendo Mount. There is freedom in death. Come on, party on. See, sometimes I can do happy things.
Right after freedom and death, we get a little giggle. All right. So we have another landmark added to the Groves, and to close out this round, Sade, neighborhood, landmark, or resident?
Resident, and I'm going to be messy. So prep for it. It's okay. So let me see. Let me copy this over here. Where do I put this person?
Well, give us the vibe and maybe we can help you find a home.
I would appreciate that. So, I don't have a name yet, but they're a person recently. They swore they were dead, but they're not anymore. And they feel weird.
I mean, I would actually say that next to a gate that no one except the dead can see is probably where where you start at least. People can move over time.
So where now? Like so.
Morindo Mount.
Morindo Mount. So the thing you just made, that makes sense. That fits.
Mhm.
Resident wise, I'm going to say James. It's okay name, I guess. James Chimes.
The Chimes family.
The Chimes family.
Like a big family in the city are the Chimes.
They're the only people with a last name so far.
Yeah, in this game, we've had names such as Hope and Piper, as well as names such as John and Gregory. So there's a lot of different names that we can bring into this game.
Look, last names in this economy?
Yep. You got to be at the whistle tips to get your last name, honestly.
So, setting the scene.
So, I have a question for you before you set this here, because the name is James Chimes, and I've been taking some notes here. And before we jump into it, we have John Chimes.
I know.
Okay. And I just wanted to make sure because I was like, those are very similar names, and I can't wait to find out why. How would you like to set the scene?
I would like Kate to start off. If anyone else wants to join in, by all means. So I would say that James stumbled through water, wading from the ankles that like seemed to flood up to the knees. That's what he remembers specifically. Not being able to see where he is, infinite white is what he sees. And he feels called to a gateway. And he remembers passing away, not in a great way. He remembers it was someone else's fault. Rage and anger. Grief, because seeing someone that he loved so much die and he couldn't protect them. Despair from not being able to do anything. Hopelessness, because it didn't matter at the end. Status, nothing. He stumbles through a gate suddenly, and he can breathe, and he can see the sky from all the way at the bottom. The bottom. I've been in that bottom in a while. You breathe. What is this feeling? Why am I wearing these clothes? And he's looking around, and he's cold, and he's wearing a shredded suit, a very fine suit. Stabs. There was blood there once, now there's not. And he's angry and sad. He's never felt it like this before. He's looking around for someone nearby, anybody. Faces blend together. Hey, can anyone help me? I'm sorry.
Dad?
Oh, John, hi. I had the worst dream, I think. You're here, though.
Here, though. Okay. She said that the chimes would. Okay, so I put the chimes in the window, and then I went to sleep, and we're. This is a dream. This is clearly a dream right now.
Oh no, it doesn't feel like. And he reaches for it and like grabs your shoulders, like, no, I'm here. Where's your mother?
She is at work. She's at work. She's at work right now. We can circle back.
Don't lie to him, John. Tell him the truth.
Sorry, did you hear something? I didn't definitely not hear that.
This is a city of ghosts, son. Like that's what like if you weren't aware, because I know you haven't been here before, but why are you here? I don't remember. I remember being hurt and darkness, and
I listened to the box. We went to your will reading, and I picked up the
my
box.
will reading.
You were dead. You are supposed to. You were. I think maybe you're still dead. I don't know how this works. But you were. I put the chimes in the window when the sun shined on the thing, and then there was a. It just kept telling me to come here and to wait and to wait and to wait, and so I have been sitting here and I have been waiting here for a while, and now I'm here and you are here, and this is not what I expected. This
I know. I'm pretty certain people can't come back from the dead. That would be new technology. That like
wait. We said wait. And now look, you have a mate. Shouldn't you be thankful to the voices in your head, John? Shouldn't you be thankful for us?
I'm sorry. Do you hear that, Dad?
No, I don't hear anything.
Great.
Son.
No, it's
what
fine.
happened? You said that I'm dead, and you said that your mother's fine. So it was just me then.
Yeah. You were. Well, you already said directness is next to.
Yes, please. I would appreciate that right now. Yes.
Goodliness. You were murdered. You were murdered, which is not something I expected to happen. But you were
from flesh.
You were stabbed by a knife, and we don't know who did it. But you were found, and then. Mom also died of being sad, and
so you lied to me just now.
I did, because I didn't know the ghost rules.
You can see that he gets really like you've never seen your father this vengefully angry all of a sudden, and then a nearby box, let's say it's like against an alley, just shoots up, and like the contents spill everywhere. It's very sudden. It's like
her hand outstretched, waiting.
Hey, Toots, first time.
Okay. So anyway, it's just me now, and so yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to do here, because the box keeps telling me to wait, and weird stuff keeps happening, and so I figured I would, I guess, do what the voices say, which is not a thing I thought I would say out loud, but here we are, and now I'm here. So hello, Dad.
I'm not dead.
Well, you're. Yeah, we should. All right, and he pokes.
Who murdered me?
Like, square in the chest, just like pokes. And are you solid? You're like actually.
I'm very solid.
Okay,
that hurt. Thanks.
I mean, maybe.
Who murdered me?
I don't know. They found you in some alley down in the Unsound. I don't know.
Do you remember, John?
I got a.
When you saw him, eyes wide open in shock, blood dripping from his mouth, begging. He knew the knife was coming. He knew who it was. Tell him so he knows the depths of betrayal. Tell him.
Mr. Charms, are you sleeping? Mr. Charms?
Sorry, Dad. Hold on. Yeah, speaking. It's a whole thing. Okay. Yeah, what?
I think he's knocked out or something.
Who's knocked out?
Call a doctor! Stay with him. Mr. Chimes?
Okay. Dad, do you... This is... we're just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the emotional component of that. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna put it in this box. It's a metaphorical box. It doesn't exist. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna put it over here. And let's just focus on the here, and you now are also here. Do you remember anything about what happened? Because someone is
I
telling
remember
me
being
that
murdered and it hurting a lot, and your mother and not being able to protect her. And
James, you clutched your stomach and you watched yourself bleed. Your eyes opened wide. You knew who it was.
No, I don't.
You remember who it was. You just
No, I
don't wish
don't.
to say it.
Mm-mm.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear that now too?
Was it grief,
okay? So we're
James?
all here.
Was it
Great,
grief,
okay.
James, or was it guilt, James?
Enough of this. Take me to my condo. Now.
So don't get mad, but I did sell the condo.
That entire alleyway of stuff just rattles, hits against the walls, shattering movement. Ooh, it is cacophonous down there. People are
Oh
turning.
my god, he's levitating!
I have true name. If you wanted
Ambrose,
to continue. Well, you were saying?
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Before we do anything, before we maybe let's say soft launch your return from the dead, why don't we go talk to Morgan? Morgan might know at least something. I know she does a lot of research, and that maybe this has happened before, or we can at least talk to somebody from the seat, but this is not how things are supposed to go.
Right. Lead the way then.
Ambrose,
Yes.
what is James Chime's true name?
Rage and waiting.
Nice.
I will make that to give me a moment while that is happening.
We got a
Oh,
little
no, I already
murder
made it.
mystery that we just sort of.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Screw it.
Not sorry.
I love it. All right. So that actually brings us to the end of the round. So, Kate, you need to create an event for us. An event is something that's going to happen in the city that changes it in some way, happens somewhere and does something. So, what's our event?
I'm about to go real hard on this. So after the building of the spire in discordance, whispers start to sort of gather in the darker corners of the city, especially in the unsound, and people start hearing these stories about a place where you can go to really truly feel unapologetically in front of others and with others, and a sort of like community. And the whispers in the city of noise and cacophony get louder and louder, and more people start questioning and seeking out the spire and going to the spire and being, if you will, inspired by the spire, until there is an uprising. And in the whistle tips, one night, group of people who have come to sort of form a group within the spire come, and they demand the right to feel at the seat. And there's a huge sort of protest and demonstration at the seat.
All right. So, what are you going to call this event, first of all?
An uprising of emotion.
All right. And starting with Sam, we're going to go around and do voices of the city. So you can ask a rhetorical question, state an opinion, or show a consequence.
The jails overflowed that night.
You are muted.
Yes.
Why do these cacophonies whisper in our ears?
It's a sort of call and response. As there's an uprising emotion, more emotion calls back from the depths of the unsound.
All right. So that ends our third round. And we're going to move into our fourth, which might be our final. It really depends on how long it goes for and specifically how many residents we create. So in this game, just for clarity, each person makes that compass. So we're going to go in for our last compass. But the way the game says to end it is either end it when we feel like the game is ready to end or do one final round to close off any loose ends. So once we see how this fourth round goes, we'll see if a fifth is needed. But we're going to start with that compass. So, Sam, what is our compass for our fourth round?
We hope, we hope, we hope.
Excellent. And would you like to create a neighborhood, landmark, or resident to start your turn?
I'm going to build a landmark in the luxury district. Give it some placeness. I'm going to build the nicest little spa. It's exclusively pronounced that way. It is... I think, Kate, you gave us the neighborhood. May I prevail upon you for an address scheme?
Oh, sure. How about the corner of finery and jealousy? It's terrible.
Not at all.
I think say some words.
Nigh by definition, it was fine.
Yeah.
And its true name will be the Rivers of Lethe.
Excellent. All right. That brings us to Nordina Ali. What would you like to create? You are muted once again.
Don't worry, I would have figured that out. My apologies. There's the puppy is now on the table, on the bed beside me. He's looking at me. Puppy, hello. I would like to create almost like a group of residents. Is that possible? Can I break the rules a little bit?
Sure.
Whispers in the ears of citizens. Pronouns. Any all. Who wants to be whispered to? And where are you whispered in? Tell me, and I'll tell you what the whispers told you.
If I'm Hope, I would like to be whispered to.
All he's done is torture you. All he's done is torture you. Torture him back. Take what is yours. Take what belongs to you. Anyone else?
What do they whisper to James Chime?
James, you know what needs to be done. You know what needs to be done. You know what needs to be done for you to finally return to rest. Rest is not the rest of the dead. Rest is the rest of the world. Rule it. You have it in you. Take and take and take until there's nothing left to give.
Piper, I want to hear from my wife, from Pied. Any words of wisdom for me before I go to sleep?
What was the last thing you said to Pied, was it? Was it nice? Was it sweet? It wasn't, was it? Why would she want to hear from you? In fact, the only reason that she's not here right now is because you don't want to hear her, do you? You want to hear sweet words, sweet words. Piper, Piper, we loved you. I loved you so dearly. Did she?
Never look back. Never look back. Never look back.
I have a name.
Okay.
Furies, the Fates. And the place in which I will have them reside is Morendo Mount.
That makes sense. Only the dead can see. All right. So, Ambrose, what would you like to create?
That's a great question. I would like to, because I'm like trying to see if there's anything that we need more of. I would like to make a resident in the luxury district of the nicest little spa. I would love to do that. Let's see.
Who's going in this spa?
It's gonna be she, her. Saw the gesture out of the corner of my eye, Sam.
I just the way it says like throwing them in the pool.
Go. Let's see. Residents. Gloria. No last name. True name. Not sure yet. I would love everyone to be in this scene. The tone is the nicest little spa is one of those spas where it's a large hot spring pool. Doesn't make sense where it is because like it's in a building, so they're able to heat the floors. Probably using spiritual energy, which is where all the best things come from in terms of power, in terms of high tech. It's the whole room is a pool, and there's like walking step paths to get out. People are waiting on people, giving them robes, towels as needed, barely with any question, gesture, even a thought. A lot of people are here just relaxing the tension away. And they're discussing concerns about the goings on in the lower areas because there's a little bit of a noise happening. Gloria is drinking whiskey, also naked, but covered from like up to water here. It's like, I don't know what they're talking about. They keep on mentioning things about they're not able to feel the way they want to feel their feelings, I think was the term that was said. But you got to work your way up to get here. We had to repress and push. Maybe they should do the same if they want to be with us.
Repress and push, repress and push, repress and push. Oh, there's a song there. I just know it.
There's definitely a song there. We can make something out of that.
It's been so long
Just
since
feel those horrible little feelings anyway.
Yeah, seriously. Like, all they do is weigh us down. What is the point? What is the purpose?
Who needs to feel those feelings anyway? Repress and push, repress and push.
Dump the emotions and rise to the top. It's only baggage anyway.
Honestly.
Dump the scum, the cream rises to the top. Repress and push, repress and push.
You should write that down.
I am writing this down as we speak. I'm going to make an album from this. I'm going to call the ghosts of the rivers to us. Are there any rivers I don't want to call?
Well, I don't know. Never mind.
No, not never mind.
No, I don't like to cause a fuss or start, be argumentative, but I mean, maybe they have a bit of a point, I mean, life can be so dull up here. I mean, it's just every day is the same over and over and over. What do? We come here, we drink, we spend money, we go back home, and then
that
what do we
sounds
do?
lovely. I mean, if you need to dump those things, there's the screamies, a lot of them.
Oh yes, but you know the type of people who go to the screamies.
screamies, as I couldn't be seen there, what with, Reginald and
Well, that is a fair point. We could just we all made our own personal screamies.
Well,
like that
isn't that what they did down? Did you hear about this? Isn't that what they did down in the Discordance? They made like their own sort of. Yes, no, Elizabeth was telling me all about it. She said that down in the Discordance, a group of them got together and they all started. Now, don't tell anyone I told you this, but they started feeling their feelings. Together at the same time.
Cleo,
yes, and
Cleo,
apparently.
No, one doing anything.
No, I swear on my life, that's what she said. She said that I believe it was her son's roommate, from college, is that type. But no, he went down there and they've been feeling their feelings together. And holding hands, crying on each other, wailing and weeping. And I know, but I'm just telling you what Elizabeth told me.
Height of your responsibility.
I'm not casting any judgment, but I'm just saying. I mean, you do have to wonder, don't you? I mean,
Cleo.
Well,
an orgy of melancholia?
Yes, and think of the music that you might be able to write after experiencing something like that. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't leave here and go down there, but what I am saying is that, we could.
You're filthy.
I know. I've had 3 whiskeys so far. You know how I get. But I'm just saying that's just what I've heard. I've heard that there's a whole group of them now, and they're some sort of organization, some protest. Did you see it down by the seat? All those people with the signs. It was them.
So long since I felt morosity. It would be interesting seeing a few of those downtrodden and experiencing what they have to experience.
Well, let me ask the two of you. If you could feel, anything, what would you feel?
Oh, darling, I feel exactly what I want to feel. I am perfectly happy, and all the more for not having to experience the negativity of others. Oh, it's such a drag.
I have no such desire to feel these feelings. I'm feeling pretty good now.
Ooh, Gloria, feeling good.
You're not having negative feelings, are you? Is that why you're talking about all this?
No, she's not feeling negative feelings. She just wants to witness them. I understand that temptation.
Of course. I would never do something.
Do we want to be bad and go witness?
I'm just saying that I have, several hours on my schedule. If any of you would like to accompany me, but of course I'm not going to feel any. I want to be very clear on that. I don't intend to feel a single thing. Not at all. I just want to go watch.
Curiosity.
Yes. Well, you know what they say about curiosity. It does something. Sometimes that's curiosity.
Kill the cord, dear love.
It kills the cord.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of whiskey. I can't always remember the lovely sayings we have here in Harmonia. But anyway.
The pores perform the pallor of depression. How many of us could say that we've witnessed that?
It would be inspiring, indeed.
I believe that makes all 4 of us. Gloria, Cleo, Calliope, and me. Ooh, we are going to be bad, aren't we?
We're going to be bad. Let's do it. A busboy, can you get us clothes, get us ready, call a taxi for us, all the things, Oh, and make sure it's stocked with whiskey as well.
Ambrose, what's Gloria's true name?
Oh, man.
This is an adventuring party if I've ever seen one.
We could throw them in 10 candles, that wouldn't be mad.
Does that work? Sorry, did you hear me? Sorry.
Say it again, please.
Glorious apathy.
Glorious apathy. I'm still getting over poor people being sad being a spectacle to these people. I'm still reacting.
Let's be bad.
And Nordine, orgy of melancholia.
That was
gorgeous. If I had a nickel for every time I heard someone have a...
Let's close out what I'm thinking will be our final round, if that sounds good, with Kate.
I would also like to break the game slightly and create a group of residents. And so I would invite all of you to join me. I would very much like to meet the members of the seat, the council, and hear their thoughts on the uprising and the spire, if that's okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, for sure.
What a great way to close out this game is find out what's happening at the top. So yeah, I suppose the name would then be the name of the council, however you want to do that.
I just literally put the council pronouns, any all. And we'll get to the name, I'm sure.
All right, so set the scene. It looks like you've put us in the seat, which makes sense, up in the whistle tip.
So we are in the seat, which is on one of the highest parts of Whistletip. It is a marble room, white and sterile, but it looks like one half temple and one half library courtroom sort of situation. And at the highest point in the room, around a half circle table, sit 3 people wearing elaborate robes that feel almost out of place. Like they feel so ceremonial, and there's no one here. There's no one observing. There's no one watching. It's just these 3 in these robes. And one of them throws his feet up on the table, and he is also holding a glass of whiskey, same brand as what Gloria prefers. And he says, "Listen, I'm not saying that, we should not do anything, but I am saying that my father, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. Maybe
you need to spell it out for us, darling.
Oh, I can spell it out for you, don't worry. It's that he's afraid to make any decisions by himself, so he's resting upon the rest of us.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
That is Matthias. I've told you once, I have told you a dozen times, I don't want to be here. So listen, you can do what you want, you can do what you can, but all I'm saying is I think the whole situation is absolutely ridiculous. That is what I think. I think it's ridiculous, and I think we should just let sleeping dogs lie, as it were.
We may have enough champagne to fill the Nile right now, but the protests? Now this? How far is it going to go?
Protest. Let them. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What power do they hold? You're worried about your shampers. Like, I understand, but I'm saying we needn't do anything. I think we ride this out and, just...
So am I supposed to be the voice of reason again, then?
I mean, you always are. So
I'm glad
why
you
not
realize that. Thank you. There's a reason why we have separate emotions, you see, like to remove the negative. We gain energy from the positive. A lot of wonderful things can happen. Negative is just discourse. Negative will bring chaos. Things won't work the way we expect. There won't be harmony. As is the name of our city.
I have an idea.
Ooh, he has an idea. All right, what do you got this time?
There is so many people in this city. What's one neighborhood's worth disappearing? Well, you said it yourself. We don't need Discord, so why
I didn't say
Discord
that out loud. Discord. Well, I mean, I'm saying that I mean, my father always says, you can always turn a negative into a positive, right? So what I'm saying is, why don't we? Yeah, well, I'm just saying, what if there was a way to convince them that, negative is a positive?
I think that's foolish. To be honest, I think, and I know that the only way to make these people understand the dangers of depression is to show them something to be truly sad about. Destruction. Look. It's a few dozen people, a few hundred people. What's the difference?
So you want to use their emotions against them? Turn it against them? Is that what I mean?
That is an interesting idea.
I mean, like
Tell
I
me
said,
more about this.
Cacophony, melody, like brought forth by negative can cause destruction. Why not show that example on the people that want to have this little uprising of theirs?
Well, we are not just a council of 3. What do the rest have to say?
What the rest have to say doesn't matter. You know how they are. You know how they get. I mean, what?
Oh, do I?
Sorry. I feel like someone does need to talk. You don't speak for all of us, and apparently I'm the voice of reason. So if there's anyone else that needs to talk, by all means. My plan or whatever he was babbling about.
I do not babble. I elucidate.
Elucidate? Really?
Well, while you're elucidating, I suppose what I'm asking is, maybe a better way of putting it is this. You know how the rest of the council gets about stuff like this. So what if, as a test case, we compromised? What if something were to happen to, say, half of one of the districts, between us and
get rid of half, you have to get rid of them all, or else the whole perpetual cycle of vengeance, and then you just made the situation worse. And then
this little uprising, where did it start?
I mean, that's part of the problem, isn't it? Because I've heard rumors. My father said that he heard that it started in the Discordance, but I heard from several of my more reliable sources that it started in the Unsound. So
where in the Unsound? Was it one of their little bars or Scream Easies?
Go there. I don't know. I would assume probably it's, they gather, they whisper, it creeps on and through, and then it happens. I don't know.
Don't we have people down there to find that out for us?
I haven't heard from any of my contacts in days.
I've heard from one of mine. The Prima Donna Bar. A man stood up on the table, ranted about who knows what. We take out the bar, take out the landmark. We set an example.
You want to destroy the Prima Donna?
Take it to the ground.
I mean...
What, 4 people? Nothing, but a symbol nonetheless. A symbol taken down from a wall and exposed for what it is.
What do you
I'm
think,
okay with
Reason?
I'm okay with that. I like that idea. We don't have to have a whole neighborhood go missing. It's enough to set a message. See what happens after that. And then if we need to take next steps, then we take next steps.
And you, with your little creation habits, can build up a new bar or build up a new voice. A new voice to replace what's been lost. You can come swooping in at the right minute.
Listen,
creation,
I realize
maintenance, destruction. All handled.
New voices, different voices. Isn't that just setting ourselves up for failure again?
People elected us, dear. They elected our voices. They want to hear our voices. Perhaps we've been too silent.
We have. And we've been too lenient as well.
Too gentle.
We need to change that.
Cut them down. Build them back up.
What is the concern on your face, John?
I mean, I suppose, if I'm being honest, it's that I don't want to get caught. This is a cushy job, and we all know that I'm not exactly what you would call qualified for it, but
Oh, no, not at all. But you're
Yeah.
doing well. We all had to start somewhere, dear.
Thank you for that. But I'm just thinking strategically long term. But if you two are in agreement, I suppose I could be swayed. And I suppose what's one building in that wreck down there anyway, right?
Exactly. What would sway you? What would quiet your concerns?
Sweeten the deal.
He pauses. He looks at his hands. He kind of plays around with his drink. And he says, I want all the anger for the next 6 months.
You want all the anger?
I want all the anger. The rage. I want it. I want it for myself. We've been sharing for so long off of happiness and joy and spontaneity and whimsy, and I think you all know that those are running short in the city. And so if we're going to do this, if we're going to eliminate rage and depression, then I want what's left. I want to enjoy it while we still have time to do so.
My dear, what do you plan on doing with rage and anger that can only be explosive?
Well, it's a funny thing about rage, isn't it? It's easy to manufacture, but it's pretty hard to get rid of.
Ooh.
Also, I just remembered that I was supposed to think of a true name like 5 minutes ago, so I'm going to do that now.
Still
I
love
didn't want
it.
to
Like,
stop the scene. I was liking it too much.
yeah, I was like, come on, let us like be aristocrats.
It's
Talk
our last scene. Let's be invested.
Also, my character is tragically born with inconsistent character voice-itis, so please take a moment to acknowledge the terrible condition. And the true name of the council is going to be... the Devourers.
The
I like
Devourers.
That's so much more polite than what I was thinking of.
I was thinking this may be a bit close to I was thinking the cannibals.
Cannibals.
That's pretty good.
The
Honestly,
Devourers,
yeah,
though.
we'll change it.
Oh
That's really good.
Cannibals.
The cannibals. That's pretty
Oh.
fun.
That's great. Mine wasn't safe for YouTube.
We'll stick with cannibals then, and we'll return right around. Sam, what event happens here as a part of We Hope, We Hope, We Hope?
I break. Oh, I'm gonna break the theme slightly. I'm sorry, but it feels like the thing that needs to be the thing, because Nardine talked about a symbol. So I want to tell you all about the Symbol Crash Memorial. Not that kind of symbol, the percussion kind, because it's a historical holiday. And 200 years ago, the four architects, the architects of glass and dreams and song and the missing, built the symbol. But when the city's beloved elder, Sonata, died, the city's grief turned to pain, turned to magic, turned to destruction, and the symbol fell. It destroyed the whole of the consonance district. You might know it now. The discordance. And in absence of that elder was created the Council of the Triad. And despair and fear and anger and all of these were outlawed shortly thereafter, and now the city holds a mandatory, authorized holiday to remember and commemorate the destruction of that day. Symbol Crash Memorial Day. It's about a week in calendar time from that council scene.
All right. So, Voices of the City, starting with Nordine. You can either ask a rhetorical question, state an opinion, or show a consequence.
State an opinion, show a consequence. Hold on. I'm going to do a thing. I think we're going to do this over here. A new symbol crashes as the prima donna is indeed destroyed.
All right. Ambrose. That was a consequence. So Ambrose, rhetorical question, opinion, consequence.
And this is taking place where? Like location-wise?
The event itself, I believe, is coming in on Discordance.
It's on the... Okay, so...
It's even as a landmark.
I scribbled that down because I was inspired by what Sam was saying.
Gotcha.
Oh, cool.
I would say...
on top of that to market at some point.
Gotcha. I would say that because of the Uprising, this is... I know this is a tradition, but this suddenly feels like it's in poor taste.
All right. And bring us home, Kate.
There are many in the city who take this ceremony, this event, very seriously. There are others who feel very strongly like, why are we doing this? This seems in poor taste this year. And in a city where strong emotions are currently being debated, being felt in secret speakeasies, in public, in the new spire, as these ideas sort of trickle their way up to the whistle tips. The consequence of the festival this year is that everything in the city is more keenly felt. Everything in the city is more discordant. Everything in the city becomes much more precipitous. That's not the right word. It feels as though at any moment the string could break and everything could come crashing down.
Excellent. I'm sure that won't have any upcoming issues. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for playing. I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? The first episode in our 4-part series, now called Harmonia's Lament. Y'all knew that. I didn't when we started this. Next week, you can find us exploring the city of Harmonia in a Kids on Bikes one-shot, followed by Nothing Can Possibly Go Wrong for a 10 Candles one-shot, and then for some reason a Quiet Year I'm sure nothing bad will happen with any of those upcoming games, but in the meantime, I would like to thank our architects who did all of this themselves. I barely spoke, so why don't you tell us who you are and where we can find you? Let's go in that beautiful turn order. Nordine Ali Kadir.
Hi, my name is Nordine Ali Kadir. My pronouns are he, him. You can catch me online practically everywhere at Werewolf Feels whenever I choose to have feelings. Because, of course, most feelings are unnecessary. I'm also a cast member on the Atomless. I am a cultural consultant, TTRPG writer, designer, so you can find tons of work at nordinalikadir.card with 2 R's .co. I periodically update that. Otherwise, follow me on socials and I'll tell you what's happening next, because right now I can't talk about some of them. Thanks.
It is me in that torn order, right? Hi, everyone. I am Sade, or Ambrose, she, they pronouns. You can find me everywhere as SS Ambrose, except for Twitter, which is SS Ambrose _ because Twitter hates me. I can't get that title no matter how hard I try. I was waiting for that person to leave, but they haven't. Otherwise, I am the creative director and founder of Othersider Studios, where we tell gothic horror, supernatural horror, and all things creepy horror in general. It is home also, this puppy, also home of the Arcane Core series, which is a Monster of the Week series. So stay tuned for more on that. There are other things that I'm a part of, but I'm going to hold off on that because waiting for dates. So I'm going to keep that close to my chest. And on to the next person.
Hello, I'm Kate. I go by Katiosaurus on all the social medias. My pronouns are she, they, and you can catch me pretty much everywhere there's a Katiosaurus to be found. I'm over on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and all sorts of fun things. And coming up next for me, I am going to be doing a very cool campaign with Hero Forge that I'm really excited about. You can also catch me at the Convergence if you're a Quincy's Tavern fan. And I've got some other cool stuff coming up too, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about any of it. So if you want to find out more, you can go to katiosaurus.com. I don't know why it took so long to say it. Thank you.
And unfortunately, I am Sam DeLev, role-playing performer and variety streamer throughout the Twitchernet, the schedule for which can be found on my Twitch About page, twitch.tv/Delevely, DELEVELY.
Excellent. And I am Paula Hawthorne. You can find me at Art and Audio on Twitter. I have nothing coming up. By day, I'm an audio engineer and I'm starting a new job very soon. And by the time you'll see this, I will have started it. So if you want me in things, feel free to reach out. I am an indie TTRPG GM. I like finding new, cool, weird indie games on itch or at conventions or whatever I can find them, and then teaching them to cool people and then letting them create amazing things with the game. So if you want to find cool indie games or have someone run them, that's me. I do that. But I really want to put the spotlight today on these amazing architects, because really, I didn't do all that much today. I have plans for later, but these 4 lovely people managed to create everything that we're talking about now with Harmonia, and I can't wait to bring it all to the ground. So enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye.